is you're not going to come out of here with a finished plan.
Yeah.
But you are going to come out, I hope, with a lot more clarity
Yeah.
and what you need to do to get a really good one-page strategic plan.
Amazing.
Why have I started off with this? Well, you might have a plan, you might not have a plan. This isn't fluffy stuff. This isn't vision, mission, purpose.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't discovering your why. This is a plan that you can use operationally to really drive change and drive actions. It is, so way back when I was in Adidas, I was the sort of head of strategic planning there, and I worked in our 2003 to 2007 strategic plan alongside the chief exec there. And then I brought a couple of books along. I was very lucky whenever I joined Action Coach to have some training from this guy, Vern Harnish. Brilliant book, Rockefeller Habits. Also done some training with Stephen Covey. I've got another couple of great books here. We've got a whole library of books. If books are your thing and you want to delve into anything, please feel free to borrow. But I will ask for them to be checked in and checked out, because I've given away so many books and lost so many books. 100%. But we've got a great library, so please
Nicky will be
use them.
last seen in your library.
and then earlier on this year, I was listening to, there's a podcast, a guy that I really like, which is called Nick Bradley, and I like listening to him whenever I go for a run. And he is, again, I can send you links to these. Nick had many years in PE, private equity, and he did a piece on one-page strategic plans, and I was like, oh my word, this hasn't changed in 20 years. It's just not changed from what I was doing whenever I was at Adidas. So all of the same measures, metrics, ideas, strategies, all are still relevant and still true. And I just thought this is the way to kick off these sessions. So we're going to be looking at, if this works, which makes it good. I'll help you turn it on, Sarah. There we go. So we're talking about an exit ready strategic plan. Why exit ready? Because it doesn't matter whether you want to sell or not in the next 2, 3, 5 years, but actually being exit ready gives you focus. It builds value, and it allows you to focus on things that really will build value, and move away from a big to-do list of just activity and stuff. So it's to try and stop following those shiny pennies that I know I do. I know
we all do.
I think we all do, because we've got loads of ideas, and as entrepreneurs and business owners, that's what makes us us. That's what makes us successful. It's the ideas, it's the buzz, it's the really wanting to get going. So this is about trying to drill it down onto one page with real clarity, making sure that what you're focusing on each quarter in your business is something that's going to drive value for you. So how do PE firms look at value? Well, they want to look at things that will increase profit, but true profit. We'll talk about profit quality a little bit later. They want to decrease risk, and they want to decrease dependence on you. Again, there are little takeaways there. The slides are all in those booklets if you want to make notes on those. But also we are recording this, and we'll send out a summary of everything as well. So don't worry if you missed bits, or I won't come back to them. So where am I up to? So it's all about doing the right things rather than just things. People get caught in what we call a strategic planning trap, which is, and I've seen a lot of businesses do this, and I've been part of this process where the plan is about the process. It's about the strategic planning event, and it becomes the thing rather than the output and the outcomes. You'll see a lot of businesses say, well, we're doing an away day. We're doing 3 days off site, and we're going to hug, and we're going to do team building, and we're going to build this really complex plan, but it never works because it doesn't drive change on a Monday morning whenever you walk back into the business. It is too complex. So what we want is a plan where I can walk to anybody in your business and say, what are you focused on this quarter? And they'll know. And then you're all pulling together in the right direction. So getting it right, talk about all that. Well, actually, this is important. And this one comes from Nick Bradley, as they say. PE firms do it differently. They've got millions in the game, and they've got a lot of businesses which may not succeed. They've got millions in the game. They've got a 2 to 3 year turnaround on each business. They want to make their money back, and they want to 10x their money in 2 to 3 years. So that requires them to focus. So you've got limited time to transform business. Let's focus on the things that can really transform it. So the one key question that they'll be asking, and you guys want to be asking about your business, is what's the one thing that will transform the value of this business? Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
We talked about this already. It's not a document. A strategy, a strategic plan isn't a document. It should be clarity about where you're going and and what you're doing next. And the golden rule is that if it doesn't fit on one page, you don't have a strategy. You've got a wish list. So let's get into it. So 1-page strategic framework, 6 steps. So you'll see these on your big A3 sheet, and whenever we come to doing a little bit of work on the A3 sheet, you will be using pencils, not pens. It's like,
can we do joined up writing?
Sure. Only if you're good at it. Don't ask me. No. You're going to have to type it. But the first thing then is the exit vision. So again, we'll come on to this, but this is about, remember, you'll have heard me say before, I'm sure, that a business is a vehicle for you to live the life that you want to live. For too many people, the business becomes actually something which drags you down and which takes over your life. So, this exit vision, it's not the purpose, it's not the more fluffy sort of vision, it's not the culture, it's not the values, it's about financial clarity, but financial clarity in order to give you what you need personally and commercially. Then we look at value drivers. This bit, value drivers, this is a critical bit, and this is the one which can be quite challenging to get right. So it's just 1 or 2 sentences of what is the fundamental thing that you're going to concentrate on for the next 2 to 3 years, which will fundamentally add value to your business. So we'll look at a couple of examples of that and come round to that shortly. Strategic priorities. So again, and all of these things link together, so that the value drivers will link to your exit vision. The strategic priorities will help you achieve those value drivers. The value drivers will do one of 3 things, or all of 3 things. They'll increase your EBITDA, your profit, they'll reduce the risk, and they'll reduce the dependency on you as a leader. The strategic priorities, therefore, one of 3 of these, they will do one of those things. Then we'll look at key success metrics and the numbers that really matter. And some of these will be less numbers focused, because again, how do you measure dependence on the founder, the leader? But we'll talk about those. This is absolutely key. Critical constraints. So what's stopping you? What's really stopping you from doing what you probably know you need to be doing? Too often, whenever you dig into this, you find that we spend an awful lot of time working around a constraint rather than dealing with the constraint. And if we're always working around it, then again, that increases the risk in the business. And then finally, this one is from Rockefeller Habits, wherever that was, Mastering Rockefeller Habits. Your quarterly rocks. 90-day planning is great. You can focus on quarters. It's 13 weeks. You can literally put your plan on one page for 13 weeks. So this is where you look at, well, again, what are the specific things that we're going to work on over this quarter that are going to move all of the metrics in the right direction.
I'm just thinking it's the wrong director that's in this meeting.
Well, we're going to video it, so we can clip that bit out.
Well, you'd agree. You'd agree, definitely.
Well, you bring them along.
Yeah.
Bring them along and get them involved, because actually, the great thing about Rob and Nikki being here is that you will both be on the same page, because we won't be finishing this plan today. You'll need to take it away and work on it. And what I really want you to do is take it away and work on it and finish it before the weekend. Literally that fast, because if we dither and delay, it becomes a process rather than a plan. So this plan really should take a focused 3 hours. A focused 3 hours maximum. You guys can maybe do it in 2, because you're doing an hour and a half here.
Yeah.
So you're doing a lot of the thinking, and you're having time for that. The apple juice to settle, so to speak. To start to ferment a little bit. Cider tomorrow. But so I'd say you spend 3 hours on it, then sleep on it, and then come back and refine it, and then share it immediately with your leadership team once you're happy with it. And then you print it up, you get that up on the wall, everybody knows where they're going. It becomes easier to hire people, because they know where they fit in the plan, they know what's expected of them, they know what's important. Stop looking so scared.
I'm not scared. Slightly.
Do you talk to people though about an exit vision?
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
I'd not thought about it before, because whether it would stop someone.
It's a good question, actually.
Yeah.
Everybody's somewhere different in the journey.
Yeah.
I think you can frame it differently.
Yeah.
Our clear vision here is something that we looked at a couple of years ago, which is I wanted to double the business in 5 years and remove the dependency on Andy.
Yeah.
Because he wants to retire. He doesn't want to be here forever.
Yeah.
So
we can also do something similar like that.
And if we're not clear about that to people,
I like
then we're
that,
not being honest with people.
Yeah.
So
I think people like to know anyway where
they need to know where you're going.
where we're going. Yeah.
But also I think it gives them confidence if they know you're doing an exit strategy that's got a plan for the business going forward. It doesn't mean that it's less secure for them.
Yeah.
No.
And it doesn't mean that you need to tell them that you are going to sell the business.
No.
It means you need to tell them that you want to get the business into a position where it is saleable.
Yeah.
If should you so choose.
Yeah.
Because then that's what frees your brain space up. If you remove yourself from the day-to-day operational activity, you free up your brain space to start thinking more strategically, and then you come up with more ideas, and then it becomes more fun. And everything lifts.
So I think it helps staff as well to know that the business isn't you dependent.
Yeah.
Because if something happens to you,
Yeah.
it means the business carries on.
Yeah.
It takes away a risk.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, I think if people normally, if somebody's buying a business, they take the whole lot, don't they?
Yeah.
So the staff are an important part of the sale of the business.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you want them to be able to.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're the people that run the business at the end of the
part of
day.
this, if they understand the value drivers and strategic priorities, and maybe your first time round you start off with, them understanding strategic priorities.
Yeah.
Because you can leave out, you can reframe exit vision to be commercial vision.
100%.
Yeah.
So
That's
it
what I was
could be that
thinking.
we want to increase EBITDA to X.
Yeah.
And by doing so, we want to reduce dependency on Nikki and Rob,
Yeah.
on Tracy and Mark.
Yeah.
And therefore this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
But I think if we just keep working through this, you'll also see how we might be able to reframe that.
Thank you.
I think also it can be used as a real motivator for the key people in your team.
Yeah, definitely.
Communicate properly.
Yeah.
I think the management can see there's a good role for them and a role for them to expand and grow.
Drive their targets.
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, let's look straight at it. So
Great.
I want you to do just literally 1 minute quiet thinking, no discussion. Have a think about your exit vision. So think about, we've got on the on board there, where are we going, what's success look like for you, it doesn't matter what success looks like for anybody else, it's what does success look like for you. An exit isn't just a transaction, it's a life decision. So it might be that, an exit might be that actually you remove yourselves from the business, you still own it.
Yeah.
You can still be a chairman or a chief exec and come in and coach and grow and help the next generation. It could be something else.
Yeah.
So you want to think about what good looks like for you, what it feels like, and do the thinking beforehand, because actually the output is no fluff. So I'm saying, what does it look like? What does it feel like? You know, who owns it? You know, do you have a role in it? If so, what is your role in it? And what would make you feel really, really proud to be at that point in 3 years' time? So you need to do that quiet thinking, but then you want to write down kind of a sentence with concrete financial outcomes. So for example, you want to exit for 10 million by 31st of March 2029, and you know you want to achieve a 6 times multiple.
Is that realistic?
Yeah, why not? Depends when you start.
No, in terms of multiples.
6 times multiple is realistic. 3 times multiple is a business that every industry is different.
Yeah.
Every industry is different. Every timing's different. So rather than me, you know, answer that, but 6 times multiples are achievable.
Okay.
And again, it's all about these 3 areas of reducing risk, increasing EBITDA, and looking at profit quality, which we'll talk about shortly.
This is a good time to tell you I did a 5-year financial plan.
Of course he did.
He likes to break it to you. We are married, by the way, let me just add that in.
On Sunday morning when I was on car park duty. I've got it on here. Revenue and profit.
Just drops it in.
But
little mic drop. Bring it back.
So bring it back. Bring it back and scrap that and think about what this might be, because this exit vision, this sort of exit vision should actually make you think a little bit differently. So some of this could challenge the status quo. You know, it could be as challenging as actually we've got to stop doing 90% of the products we're selling in our online store and rebrand to something that we know that people want, that makes money, that, you know.
Already doing that.
There you go. You know, so think about my computer in the way of the screen for everybody.
Good, thank you.
Would anybody like a water?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I would as well.
I can have a coffee now, I want to get a coffee.
3 years.
Anyone else want to go to a coffee?
Do you want me to bring the coffee in?
Oh yeah, do you mind? Thank you so much. Need it today.
Yeah, of course I've got a lost in
so
thought.
much. I'll give this to you because I've got a big
Flask.
there
She
here.
didn't run out of space. Verbal diary.
So if you're running out of space, you've probably written too much.
I have written so much.
But, you know, this is probably a good time to just move it on, because remember, this is something you're going to go away and find.
Yeah.
So let's talk about value drivers. This is potentially the most important part of the plan. This is, this is going to be what will most increase the value of the business. So if you get this right, the enterprise value goes up, enterprise value being the sale value. So value drivers, if improved, will make the business more profitable, decrease risk, and remove dependency on you. So this is a little bit more of a couple of sentences. So perhaps you're putting the value drivers there, Tracy, into the exit vision. So, value does not come from working harder. Value comes from working on the right things. So these value drivers probably last 2 to 3 years. These aren't, sort of projects. They're not Q1 fixes. This is sort of 2 sentences which says what you're all about, and this is what people can really get behind. So it might be that you keep the exit vision to yourselves, but it's these value drivers that you're really communicating and getting behind. So I'm just going to flip to the next slide because I added this in as a slide. Just remember, not everything that grows revenue grows value. So not everything that grows revenue grows value. So you've got to be really clear, and we'll come onto that in the metrics again. But let's go back to the value drivers. So my example there, it's got to be 1 or 2 sentences. You've got to have focus, you've got to have clarity on this. If it's too long, if it's too fluffy, it's not going to translate, and you're not going to get people behind it. So the example here would be, shift from time-based services to scalable, repeatable offerings with recurring revenue, increasing EBITDA margin from 15% to 30%, and reducing reliance on the founder. It's a bit of a mouthful, but you can see that increases profitability, it reduces risk, and it reduces the dependency on the founder. And it will take some doing. It will make you change something. You're asking there to double your EBITDA margin. Does everybody know what EBITDA stands for? Sorry.
Earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization.
Boom!
Tell his dad and his brother were accountants.
I think that's his 5-year
Enjoyed that
plan.
one.
Yeah, we need to get some chocolate money and prizes.
Get him a little gold star. Get him a little gold
and
star.
gold stars. Yeah. Definite gold stars. So the reason that buyers and businesses are interested in EBITDA is because it takes all of the financing, it takes everything else out. It takes, they want to understand that they are buying repeatable, recurring profit, without you. So there's all sorts of things you can do to impact your margin. You can pay yourselves a low salary. You can, improve margin by, founder heroics or one-off work, or doing a big, big piece of one-off work, and that's kind of all about ego, really, rather than having something. So, when we set up in accountancy, Andy's vision was about lots of small clients. So we don't do a load of transactional one-off work. Unlike most of the rest of the industry, our recurring income. And now recurring income doesn't mean subscription based or whatever. It's just repeatable, ongoing income of good, solid base. And our recurring income is about 87% of our business, which makes it scalable and makes it. Again, we'll come on to this a little bit later, but if we lose 1 or 2 clients, we're not overly dependent on 1 or 2 clients.
100%. Okay, if you've got
This is just.
If you loving it. He's loving
This
it.
is everything I've been thinking about.
Diving right in. Okay, so if you've got one sentence or two sentences of value drivers, everybody got something.
Yeah.
Right, pressure test it. Does it increase EBITDA? Is that captured in your sentence?
Does it what, sorry?
Increase your EBITDA, your profitability. Is that captured and absolutely crystal clear in there?
Mm-hmm.
Does it reduce dependency on you?
No.
Okay. If it doesn't, pressure test that. Have a think about that. You know, again, you just need to be thinking about this. Does it reduce business risk in terms of what a third party would see when looking at it? Great.
And see why you asked us to do it in pencil now.
But I didn't
Where's
think
the
to do as big as numbers.
That's why I'm doing it straight into the laptop.
Yeah. You know, I've just got scribbles up mine. Nice and man, mate.
Yeah, can you read your Okay, fab. We're going to move on. We're going to move on to value drivers. Sorry, we're talking value drivers. We're going to move on to strategic priorities. So, why 3 strategic priorities?
3 is the magic number.
Wow.
Focus, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're totally right. 3 is the magic number, but you know, but also focus. Your brain can't process, you know, many more than that.
Mm.
If we've got, you know, if everything's a priority, nothing's a priority. We all know that.
Yeah.
And it's so easy whenever you are busy
Mm.
and busy running and growing and scaling a business. It's very easy to think that everything's a priority.
Yeah.
And this is why I think it's really important to step away and do this plan
Yeah.
on your own as business owners, not with a leadership team, not with it, because otherwise everybody's going to have a priority and wants to input in that priority.
Yeah.
So these 3 strategic priorities have got to tie in with value drivers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about limiting your ambition, it's about identifying the things that when if focused upon are going to really drive momentum, they're going to drive change, they're going to drive decisions, and they'll make faster decisions as well. So yeah, focus creates momentum, creates value-led decisions, because every priority must link back to your enterprise value in some way, shape or form, and it focuses you on execution over intention. So if your priorities mean clearer ownership and measurable progress. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
So look, I've got some examples here of 2 or 3 different priorities. You've got the setup because you've looked at this exit vision and you've got your value drivers. So strategic priorities, this is where we've got to get ruthless. We're not talking about projects. We're talking about priorities that sit along this. When we come down to the quarterly rocks, that might be a project to help you achieve your strategic priority, but these are things which don't necessarily finish for the next 2 or 3 years. They are priorities that will set you in motion and create the momentum. So, you know, looking at what we've got down there, you know, scalable revenue. So the priority being we want to build predictable, repeatable revenue streams. Again, it doesn't have to be about subscription models, but you know, what do you need to do? What product or what service or what offering, you know, can you potentially put out there with, you know, and bring your clients over to this? You might have another priority about profit and retention, improve client quality and lifetime value of a client. You need to know what client profitability and lifetime value of your clients is in the first instance to do that. So some of this, once you've identified what these priorities are for your business, might require a bit of work to go back and rebase and go, well, what's my baseline? Priority 3 might be around team and independence. You might want to reduce your dependency by building a capable leadership team or bringing in an external somebody that can drive X, Y, Z for you. So I'm going to give you 4 or 5 minutes on this. So if you can draft 2 to 3 priorities, and then I'm going to pair you up for a couple of minutes. some more examples in your workbook. So you might have more about replacing the owner, improving the client quality, building your management team. All similar things again, all ladder back to your value drivers. I've got another slide.
What?
I've got another slide about what I'm asking you to do. Okay. Has everybody got 2 to 3?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with the person beside you, and actually it's quite good that you two aren't pairing up, it's really better to do this with somebody else. I want you to challenge each other, so I want you to you know, priorities are choices. So it's not a wish list, it's not a million miles long, it's a choice. And it'll help speed everything up. So if you'd share your priorities with each other and challenge whether the headlines are outcome based rather than fluffy, whether the description is specific and measurable, and whether you are using, you know, the right sort of language. You know, as we said here, verbs like build, shift, increase, reduce, remove, repeat, not explore or
Soft HR words.
Yeah, not soft HR words, precisely. Because these are things that you know you can explore something forever, and you never.
Yeah.
So these strategic priorities, you will know when you've achieved them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So close.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Great.
Do you want to start?
Yeah.
You can start.
So
It's the first one we people
I'll come and challenge you.
Right, we need
It's
to
very
bring
big.
someone
So
in.
big as
There's
you do.
12 of us in total. We need that team lead now
Yeah.
because we're still doing the operational and we're trying to build the business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we haven't.
We've still not managed
Yeah, yeah.
So we need to bring that person in.
Yeah.
We need to increase profit. We need a lot of investment in the
We're not able to do
Yeah.
it.
So we need to increase profit.
Yeah.
So
And
we've got to get that
improve
person in
client retention to
to
what
take
we've
the
done with
majority of
this
the
year. Want to increase the number of clients and larger packages and increase profit
The
by
second one is
40%.
pricing model
Want to build
is still based on
scalable
looking at
revenue.
setting down
So
the
we're
table,
launching
Right.
selling
a
out
new
our own
service
time.
this year.
Okay, we don't
and
need
possibly
stories. We
And
just
that's
want
not
the
second
priorities.
Yeah.
So what we
Okay.
are
Another
about
service.
is price
Yeah.
list.
So if somebody starts giving you a story or a background or a reason, if somebody starts giving you a story or a background or a reason or lots of words,
Yeah, so
tell
we need
them
to
to
recruit
stop.
someone.
That-
isn't it?
Yeah, but you measure
just
that.
want
Yeah,
the what.
yeah.
You can measure
You don't
that,
want the
and you
why,
can
you
measure
just
that.
want the what.
Yeah.
What are the strategic priorities?
Yeah.
Otherwise,
And then
it's
like
not
the-
time.
Mine's a very new
Pre-price list,
business. We've only
increase
been doing a year.
profitability by client by
It's to build a
upselling
strong client base
some
for
of our
regular
value
income.
adding
Brilliant.
products, which
And
will happen
then
anyway.
to make
And
sure
have
we're
you got
getting
the
client
numbers? How much
evaluation,
you want
the
to increase
industry
that?
practice, providing value to
£7
customer base,
million
therefore
each.
increasing
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
And that's all I've got so far. From a sales point of view, I've no idea what.
Well, I know how
like.
much per client is at the moment, so
Um,
we're starting
so
out.
again, securing the client base so
Yeah.
that we become their go-to resource for all policy and procedures set up. We secure what that
30%.
design means.
Oh, there's
Thank you.
a
Have
measure
you
of
got a
that.
thought about where you might
Right,
get
I
info?
Notes.
Yeah.
Have you gone too far?
Too far.
Yeah.
Too
Too
far.
far.
Too far.
No stories.
No
reasons,
stories.
No
No
justification.
no
No
Sell what that does. I have no idea.
You've got a headline that's outcome based.
We need to
Secure
make
pricing is to make sure the model, so for all
Increase the number
policies,
of- this is
that
members
and
we've
then
by
got a
scalable
good
revenue
pricing
of
policy
Yeah.
that maximises
Yeah,
that
it's
profit.
5 years out.
And we're selling for the
I
correct
guess
price.
the question there is
Which I
how
think
much
really
by.
comes back to the profit
Yeah.
things we had
Well,
last
the
week.
average order value went down to about
And maybe
250 with
Too many
coming back to
stories.
what we discussed last
Stories.
week,
Yeah.
is coming back to
Stories.
maybe
I'm
different
not
offerings for different clients.
Yeah.
So you've got your base
Okay.
policy,
Yeah.
where you get just a standard policy,
Yeah.
or if you want to adapt into your business,
Yeah,
then
so we
it's
need to
this
get
policy,
back.
and
Brilliant.
then there's a subscription model.
Right.
But there is a
Excellent.
reason
You
for
want to
that.
increase?
Like,
No,
Yeah.
don't do that now. And you
No.
want to do it.
Yes,
Right?
potentially.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Done.
Brilliant. Well done.
Well done for challenging us. I love getting into
Well
stories though.
I know, and again, this is why it can become.
Yeah, I
You know,
think.
we've got to be focused.
Mm.
The how you're going to do it comes in the out of
Yeah.
the quarterly
Yeah.
rocks further down
Yeah.
the line.
Yeah, so good.
This is just about what is really important.
Yeah.
Does every strategic priority you've got written down there have a measurable outcome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are we going to know if it hasn't? How are we going to know that we've achieved it?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Does everything ladder back to the value drivers?
Yeah.
Yeah. And therefore to the exit vision.
Yeah.
Great. Let's talk about metrics. What are we doing for time? We're catching up a little bit. Keep me on track here. Okay. So key success metrics. These are not KPIs for the sake of it.
Mm-hmm.
There are just 5 we're going to look at. 5 and no more. Now, of course, any business can have more, but these are the ones that you, as a founder, leader, owner, want to be all over and looking at. That includes you for ours.
Yeah.
Founder, leader, owner.
No pressure.
So, recurring revenue growth. Why is that important?
It's dependable in terms of income.
Valuable.
It really drives value. Again, it doesn't have to be a subscription model. You know, it could be retainers, it could be repeat clients, it could be predictable repeat purchases. It could be, knowing that every time somebody lands on your website, they're going to buy from you 6 more times on average. But it's
Yeah.
that recurring revenue model that's really, really important. Lumpy sales mix for somebody who's looking to invest or buy your business is high risk. And in fact, this sort of repeatable recurring bit it's so much more important than a sudden spike that you can't experience or that you weren't expecting. So this is about you being all over your business and being all over the trends and all over the market and all over your customers and what they want and need. Oops. Next. Oops, wrong thing. Wrong clicker. That'll put the telly off. That would never do. Customer acquisition efficiency. What does that mean? So CAC is client acquisition cost. CAC payback is how long does it take you to get that money back on whatever it cost you to buy a client. So if it costs you 250 quid for every client that you buy, because remember, marketing is just about buying customers. That's it. It's about buying customers. So it costs you 250 quid to buy a customer, and every purchase gives you 50 quid profit. It's going to take you 5 purchases. If they buy from you 5 times in a year, it takes a year for you to get payback. So what you want to be looking at is, well, what's your current level and how can you reduce that payback time and therefore increase the efficiency of the client. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So in a professional services business, it's sometimes more difficult to kind of go, well, what is my, what's my gross profit margin on a client?
Yeah.
Well, you've got to take averages across the business. So I would be inclined to move your, and I haven't looked at your accounts, I don't know what way you look at things, but I'd be inclined to move your people costs, because essentially you're a bit like us, you sell time for money, even if you don't do timesheets and sell time for money.
Yeah, we do.
So your delivery people, I'd move those up to cost of sales, and your director costs. So I'd be putting in your own, adding back in your dividends and things like that. and that will give you a gross margin that is there or thereabouts, and then I'll be using that as your sort of your gross margin profitability. It's much easier in a widgets or a
Product
commerce or
range,
retail product area. Profit quality. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, and this is where again this is looking at your EBITDA margin and your predictable growth. So buyers pay for sustainable profit, not for blind vanity. So it's that sustainable profit number. If you can show that actually each year my EBITDA is either the same or growing, then then you've got a lovely profitable model that people will like. So the main priority, and that's margin predictability, margin discipline. So it's about being reliable and repeatable and increasing value. Buyers pay for profit that they think will exist after you're gone. So you, even if you're not intending to sell and go, you want profit that exists without you having to deliver it personally. This comes back to that founder, owner, sort of dependency. Let's look at number 4. Number 4 is your customer base strength. Again, this supports that risk reduction. So we've talked about this already. We talked, Nikki and Morag last week about the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. What we don't want really is 80% of your profit coming from 20% of your clients. So we want a nice consistent spread. So your metric there might be about active clients, retained clients, and repeat business. Might be about looking at average client value. The goal might be about increasing number, adding X number of clients, each of whom is no more than 5% of our profitability. Our average annual client value is £3,000. So on a turnover of 2.5 million, that's not a very risky business. So if you think in those terms. And finally, this is the one that people never put as a metric and never measure, but that founder independence. So how could you measure that? What percentage of the decisions have to come to you? How much of your time gets involved in operational decision making? What revenue is dependent on you? Again, the more a business relies on you, the more tied up you'll be. The more problems you'll have in releasing yourself, post sale, or even getting a sale if you want to sell. Because actually, if it depends on you, well,
What have you got to sell?
what have you got to sell? You've got a job. Can't sell a job. So again, if you can just, with each of those, so monthly recurring revenue growth, if you look on the screen there, they're each linking probably to one of the areas we've just discussed before, and certainly should be. I'd like you to, where you know it, write down your current number, then write down your exit ready number, and write down which strategic priority it moves the most. So just spend a couple of minutes doing that.
I'm thinking if we want to exit like in 9 years, for example, just break it down into maybe 3 year.
Yeah. Makes sense. say so.
So it builds
I
on
think
it
I
each
think
year.
5 years is too far out. I must
Yeah,
say.
yeah,
I think it
yeah,
is
yeah.
nowadays,
Yeah,
and a 3-year strategic plan
yeah.
is, you know, as I say, it's 2003 to 2007. It's what we were doing
Yeah.
Adidas and working on 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
It works.
Mm.
It's enough to allow you to drive some proper change.
Yeah.
A year's not enough.
Yeah.
It's also not too far
Mm.
that markets
Yeah.
will have, you know, completely upended
Mm.
and changed.
Yeah.
You know, we can still see now. I don't know where AI will have taken our
Yeah, of
industries in
course.
5 years' time,
Yeah,
but I can say with some confidence that in
Yeah.
2 to 3 years' time,
yeah.
we
Yeah.
will still be operating to a certain extent in this
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
But we've got an eye on the future that's beyond
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
meaning that actually some of our strategic priorities might be about, well, what can we do to remove the risk of AI?
Yeah.
What can we do to reposition our business
Yeah. Yeah.
so that we are, you know, less at risk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What are the consequences if one of your metrics doesn't change in the next 90 days?
Stay where we are.
Yeah, there's some of that. Well, are you doing the right, you know, are you working the right rocks?
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
think that's that's a challenge. These metrics have to change in the 90-day period,
Yeah.
even if it's just marginal. Okay, let's move on to critical constraints. This isn't a problem list. Constraints are things that slow everything down. And actually, if we remove the constraint, more often than not, we will improve more than one metric.
Yeah.
So by moving the constraint, we'll more often than not improve more than one metric. And most teams actually work around constraints instead of fixing them, because fixing them's harder.
Yeah.
Fixing them often requires difficult conversations, because people are often at the, you know, a big part of the constraints. So you remove the constraints, you unlock value. So I want you to ask yourself, what's really holding you back? Here's some common growth constraints. Yeah, I'm sounding like a broken record here, but founder dependency.
Yeah.
You know, you're having to make too many decisions, too many sales, do too much of the delivery. Yeah, and sometimes this is ego as well. You know, I've removed myself pretty much from the sales cycle in accountancy. I do very, very little business going in now, whereas it used to all come through me.
Yeah.
Part of me hates it because I've lost a bit of control,
Yeah.
but I've got to trust it, because otherwise,
Yeah.
guess what? You know, I've still got a hairdresser on the A6 who we started working with in 2014 coming to me if there's
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
you've got to kind of put the ego aside and
100%.
think, actually my time is more valuable
Yeah.
on the bigger picture stuff. Capacity limits, people, systems, or leadership bandwidth. And by leadership bandwidth, I do mean burnout. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you've just got so much coming at you from every single angle that it's almost impossible to make a decision. And I've been there many times. Cash can be a constraint. Timing of cash can be a constraint. You know, if we go back to that customer acquisition, you know, the CAC payback and efficiency there, what a buyer's looking for there is that, can the cash in the business fund the growth that you can achieve? You know, can we put more energy and effort into funding growth without running out of cash. And again, especially in a product business, it can be really, really difficult to do that because you feel like you need to buy stock, invest in stock in order to sell stock. So you've got to be really careful because more businesses that are profitable go out of business because they run out of cash rather than because they aren't making a profit. But in people businesses, it can be just the same. You can get to be running over capacity. And if you're winning too fast and not able to deliver, then you've got a big problem because you start letting people down and systems and people will break. Sales effectiveness, whether you've got a weak conversion or you've got an inconsistent pipeline, operational drag, complexity, rework or lack of standardization, these are all common growth constraints. So I would like you to write down your biggest constraint, just one.
I've got 3.
Yeah,
I got 3 as well.
This
Okay.
is why I'm good at that.
So
All of the above.
with your partner, same partner as last time, I would like you to challenge, just pick your one biggest constraint.
I've got a lot at the moment.
So what's the single biggest constraint limiting the value of your business right now?
I'm looking at her.
I'm looking to you.
And she's looking at me.
Yeah.
What I was about to say.
I was just going to say,
We're
yeah,
as
there was a
bad
bit
as
of a
each
pause
other.
there.
Okay, right, pair up.
Come on.
Listen to me. Rules. Person A, that's Tracy and Nikki, 60 seconds only. No stories, no background. All I want to know is, what is the biggest single constraint limiting your business? And if it disappeared tomorrow, what would instantly improve? Person B, I want you to challenge them and find out whether that really is a constraint. And I want them then to come up with if they could only fix one thing, if you could only fix one thing in the 90 days, it's this because, what's the impact it has? Go.
Okay,
Time in your
lack
life.
of planning,
Yeah.
too much going on at once,
Critical.
too many
Yeah.
Bring
projects,
someone in.
no
If
focus.
we disappeared tomorrow
Yeah.
without that.
Yeah.
That's it, that's,
And what would the
I
change
don't
be
need
if you
60
get it
seconds,
right?
that's just a complete lack of planning, not
Firstly,
sticking
would
to a
then
plan,
have more time to coach,
changing
develop the
minds,
team, and to grow the business.
losing focus.
So if that disappeared tomorrow,
I think it's a lack of
That's an
appreciation
issue.
of my
If you
plan.
had clarity
Just
in the
people's
plan,
lack of consistency
Make a
and lack of
massive
strategic
difference.
plan. We
Yeah.
get all that right, then I think we've got something that we're both driving for.
Yeah.
Somebody's brain,
How soon do you need that?
different
Is that,
ideas, and I
you
think we
mentioned
get
three,
pulled
is that
in
three
different
different
Well,
directions.
well, so
as
it's
a
a lack of a clear vision,
Yeah.
Like
which
the moment
creates
I
a lack
feel
of
I'm going in a
consistency, which
meltdown.
creates a lack of a strategic
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah.
So you take that, we agree that,
Sounds like a
then we
problem.
can put this right,
It
and
is
then
a
we
problem.
get that into
Do you need
place.
someone to hold you
Is that
accountable
achievable?
for making decisions and delivering?
Yeah, it is for me.
Probably as well communication
Yeah.
between Mark and
Yeah, she's got family issues at
Mark
the minute, so
and
it's just a bit
I. Our
difficult.
brains working
Yeah.
completely different.
But how's that going to help?
I think
your
we
business?
always going to go
I
to
think it
the
gives,
same
you've got a strategic
place.
plan.
Yeah.
But we have a very
you know what
different
you're
way
both
of
trying to
getting
aim for,
there.
Yeah.
and then
And
you
you
can
agree
Causes
on
a
it.
bit of tension.
and
I
then
think
once you put
that
that,
sort of seeps
you know
into
what
the
we know what
team.
we're both working
Yeah.
for.
Exactly.
Sounds
Both
like
pulling in the same
Sarah was
direction.
saying earlier, you used to be here as
Yeah.
well.
Amazing.
So I think we
Yeah.
committed to
That's
both
the way I
Yeah.
see it.
I think
Yeah.
you both need to be
Yeah.
in a place where you can make and agree
We
and
did
be
it.
held accountable for decisions.
Done?
okay,
Yeah.
switch
Done.
over.
We've done it.
We've done it.
Switch over you two then. Great. you can give them some feedback.
It's,
Well done, you
it's
two.
what
Proud of you.
makes sense.
We tried our best, didn't
What
we?
was the success of starting a business?
Okay,
Based
so
on
while
our
they're
reputation
talking,
and our ability. It's now
tell
holding
me,
back
each of you,
because the team
what
working
your constraint was
inefficiently.
and what impact
We keep
fixing it
adding
in the next
people
90
to try
days
and
will
fix
have in
the
your business.
inefficiency,
Right.
which
Tell
will
you.
increase
Yeah.
costs.
When you
You do
Investment,
okay.
we really need
Founder
to bring
dependency,
someone to
the impact will be that
take
we'll be able to
the
coach and develop
offers,
the
and
team
work
more,
offers,
and increase
so
sales
that
and
we
grow
can
the
then
business.
focus on driving
Yeah.
improvements in the team.
Right, okay.
Mine's really a lack of agreed vision with my business
We
partner,
won't move forward
which
unless
leads
we
to a lack of
that's-
consistency
Right,
and a lack
okay.
of strategic
And
planning.
can the business
And if
give
we
us
get that in
that?
place, then I think we can put
At
a
the
plan in
moment,
place that we're both
no.
going to
Right.
go for.
But long term,
Brilliant.
we'll make
It's
it
agreed, isn't it?
It's
You're
an
both
agreed
pulling in
plan
the
that we
same
both-
direction.
There are
Okay.
things we can move
So
and levers
for
we can pull.
Any of you
Right.
that have more than one
So
constraint, circle the one that you're going to
We
deal
invest
with.
a lot, like bringing marketing in.
And you're
Right.
committing to address it in
Mm.
the
Very
next
moved.
90
Yeah.
days. Okay, you
but
two.
crucial maybe.
It's 100% crucial.
They were brilliant. So, not
Gold star time for us.
Yeah. Gold star each. You might need to get more chocolate
We
money.
might give it a chocolate bar!
You got a chocolate bar in your pack.
I said, we might get another one.
No. So, just sort of ask the others, if you've got more than one constraint there, circle the one that you're going to commit to dealing with in the next 90 days. Just make sure you've done that. And then let's get on to quarterly rocks or 90-day planning priorities. So each rock, and I just like the term rocks, it's just something really solid, and it's something really, really tangible, really clear. You can see it, you can feel it, you know what it is. If there's too much fluff around it, it's cotton wool, it's not a rock.
Yeah.
So each rock must either remove a constraint or move a key value metric in the right direction. If the metric doesn't move, the rock isn't the right thing. So these rocks evolve, the priorities stay. So strategic priorities stay, the rocks can evolve. You can have up to 5 rocks per quarter. Anybody that is used to, either if you don't have a team that can do some of this for you, limit your rocks to maximum 3. If you are used to having too many things pulling on you, limit it to maximum 3. Don't go for the 5 because it'll kill you, and like anything, too many priorities, nothing gets done. So 3 to 5 rocks per quarter maximum, 1 owner, and it links to 1 metric. So generally, if you were looking over the course of the year, if you were building a plan for the year, Q1 should be about focus and momentum, really embedding this strategic plan, locking in the few actions that are really going to create early momentum and movement in your value metrics. Q2, build on that and embed it, double down on what's working, systemize any progress, get rid of things that aren't working, and you'll start to see the numbers as well by Q2, and you'll start to see those metrics improving, and that gets exciting then. Q3, adjust and strengthen, respond to any market signals, and start working on the next constraint to get rid of that. 1 constraint at a time. Just focus on the one that's the biggest problem, and then park the next one for the next quarter. In Q4, deliver strong and make sure that you are continuing to move those rocks and metrics. I've got some examples here which are also in the book for professional services and for e-commerce. Now, again, these aren't perfect. I don't know the inside out of what's going on in your business, but professional services, the first one here is reduce founder dependency. So it might be the outcome, and I'm very action owner deadline type person. So the handouts that I've given you here, you've got your rock across the top. What's the rock? What outcome does this deliver? So rock being reduced founder dependency, outcome could be appoint and onboard a client services lead in this to run weekly client reviews without the founder involvement. Then the metric that's moving, what's that going to be? Founder time and delivery. And probably client retention as well, you want to be measuring both of those. The constraint addressed, founder dependency, and who owns it? Well, probably the MD, and you've got to have this delivered by a specific time, so 30th of June, whenever that might be. Again, in your workbooks, you'll see some other examples. That's a little bit small, but we've got a couple of different ones that increasing average client value, improving delivery efficiency, reducing client client concentration risk. So different examples there to give you an idea. E-commerce example, improve customer retention. So it might be the outcome, introducing post-purchase emails, loyalty programs to increase repeat purchase rate to 30%. That metrics that get moved. So again, often these rocks will move more than one metric. And remember we looked at that last week, where those small differences repeated consistently over time make a massive difference. So metric moved here would be customer retention rate, lifetime value of your customers. Constraint might be low repeat purchase behaviour. So that's looking back at some of those metrics we looked at the start. Who owns it and when's it due by? And we've got some more examples there. So a rock is complete when the outcome exists, not when you feel like you've done it. So it's got to be an outcome that you can measure against.
Can't even see that with my glasses on.
Do you want to stick on up on the board?
Yes.
And they're just examples, really.
Yeah,
These
I'm
are
just looking at
I'd
them.
like you to write down two rocks each. A poor rock would be improved marketing. A good rock would be increased email-driven revenue from 18% to 25% through segmented campaigns and automation, for example. I want you to draft 2 to 3 tops. I want you to focus on the outcome, the owner, and the deadline.
I'm not good at this yet. I'm really struggling with this one.
Yeah.
About some of the example ones.
Yeah, it's just, I don't feel, there's too much other ahead of it to do that yet.
Okay. So
I've
maybe
got
you
to
need
agree
to-
that vision, and that's got to be agreed before I can do that.
Okay. Well, yeah, it has to be.
It has to be, until I've got that and I get Tash to agree with that and agree what we're doing, I'm struggling to do that.
Makes sense, because it's a
Mm.
waterfall.
Yeah,
It is a waterfall on all flows.
because I'll put something down, but unless I've got that agreed,
So my challenge to you would be, your business partner has other things going on, and actually treat this as if it's your business.
well, I'm
and
thinking
sell
it's what I need to do and then sell it to her, but I need to think about that and selling it to her and what I sell to her before I can do that, if that makes sense.
Does make sense. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I challenge you to still think about the potential locks that you could, because some of it, yes, you need to get her agreement on the plan, but there will be certain things that you will need to do regardless of what the plan is in terms of potentially customer
I
acquisition.
agree with that, but it
Or-
still feels kind of fuzzy,
Mhm.
because I think it's agreed the sales base and the clientele we're going for.
Mhm.
But again, that's still a fuzzy, it's not a metric that you can, I can't say I'm going from this to this yet, because I don't know what it is.
Mhm.
I need more time.
Okay.
I need to think more about
So the outcome could be
Mm.
that by whatever date, you've got absolute clarity on
yeah,
your ideal client profile,
yeah,
where you find them,
Yeah.
and how you're going to
yeah, yeah.
approach.
yeah. Well, that's, I've put, agreed client sales strategy and method and metric,
Okay.
but that's,
So agree ideal client profile.
Yeah.
Could be one before
Yeah.
the sales strategy.
yeah, yeah.
Who's ready to share?
Hmm?
Who's ready to share 1 and 2?
Yeah, Q1, appoint and onboard a team lead by the end of Q1, so that's us two.
Well, they might not be on board by then,
Yeah.
but we can recruit them.
100%.
Yeah.
And then agree the quarterly rocks for the team. So we've got ours, so then involve the team lead in that.
Yeah, that's a great thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, you know, for this to work really well, you know, each team would have their own rock that they're working on
Yeah.
that filters up into the other
Yeah.
strategic priorities and the other rocks.
Yeah, and we can call it bricks because we're cornerstone, so it makes.
Perfect. I like it. I like it a lot.
I like that.
Yeah, definitely. Rob, would you like to share a different one?
We take on no new ad hoc work, even if we lose business.
This is going to be staring me then, did you see that? If he had glasses, he'd be looking at
Well, then you can't. So, and
Tell me what metric that's going to move.
what that's moving founder dependency.
Okay.
Capacity.
Mhm.
So what that's allowing us to then do is drive the other things
Mhm.
that the business needs. We've had so many projects, and it's not dissimilar to what you were saying, that have just dragged
Yeah.
because we're not driving them. We haven't got time to drive them because we're doing client work.
Yeah.
And it's a scary move. It's a scary move
But a necessary
whenever,
one.
yeah, and it's doable.
Yeah,
You know,
it is.
probably the sensible thing that Andy and I did with this business was appoint me as MD,
Yeah.
and you know, while he was also running a different business,
Yeah.
because it meant that neither of us get dragged into
Yeah.
client work.
Yeah.
So we don't take on projects that
Yeah.
need him or me to deliver it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, again, it's unusual, and it does dilute the potential profitability, but it dilutes profitability for the longer term.
Yeah,
Growth.
100%.
Very interesting. Tracy.
I've put to focus on purchasing best-selling stock. Over the last 2 years, we've tried to diversify and purchase bedding, ceramics. None of it's worked. So we're paring it back now to just back to where we started, really, with chairs, dining chairs, accent chairs, bar stools. So focus and spend the money on the best-selling stock rather than the slow-moving, which our 80/20's got turned the other way.
Yeah. Great. So
too
that's
much.
going to move lots of metrics.
Yeah,
Actually,
it
it's
is,
going to move
hopefully
cash.
so.
It's going to move.
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
it's been in progress the last couple of months. It's going to take a while to bring it back, but it's shifting the focus to buying what people want.
That's great.
Yeah, that sounds
It's your core-
ridiculous.
it's your core shopping business.
Yeah, the core,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because that's where we make the most profit as well.
Yeah.
It's all gone a bit.
Yeah.
And it happens because it's shiny pennies, and it's also a little bit of ego, and it's a bit of well, I want to do this and I want to do that, and you know, somebody's asked me that because we do this, can we also do that?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
actually, you know,
No.
it's like what
Ad
you
hoc
two just
business,
said. It's the ad hoc
Yeah.
business, isn't it?
Well, one of the reasons we were doing it is for repeat business, but we've found out now with the last 6 to 12 months drilling more into the data that we don't get a lot of repeat custom. That's not our business. I think it was about 85% of business that we get is new business. So just shifting getting the average order value back up again,
Yeah.
because a lot of these products were cheaper products. We need an average order value of 4 to 450.
Yeah.
If we don't do that, we're not making a profit.
Yeah.
So
Well done.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just looking at data and acting on that information rather than just gut all the time. Gut
Yeah.
instincts and, like you say, shiny new pennies.
You do, but the thing is, you do things for the right reason at
Yeah,
the
we
time.
did. Yeah, of course
But
we
it's
did.
only when you actually.
We did too much all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can't test and measure anything.
Yeah.
And actually, it's fine to try new things. It's absolutely important to try new things,
Absolutely.
but only if you're going to measure it.
Yeah.
And if you're going to actually understand and look at the data. And
I
and
think
see
as
what
well we
it says.
realised that we don't know how to sell cheaper products. because it costs so much for us to sell the product. We don't know how to do it.
Well,
It's called
why would you want
competence,
to?
though. It's
Yeah.
about what you do and what
Yeah.
you do well.
Yeah.
And that's
Because otherwise
just,
you're trying to compete with Amazon and Walmart and
Yeah.
Aldi.
Yeah, it's just not worked.
But you
So-
learn from it, right?
Yeah.
That's what we all
So,
do all the
yeah,
time.
it's
We
just
try it and we learn.
Bringing the focus back to our core products
Mm.
and focusing on bestsellers and getting those in stock to bring the pre-orders down,
Yeah.
which we are doing actually slowly, but it's going to take time.
Great.
We have 10 minutes to your training session. So let's just looking back at from the start of today. Actually, already in an hour and a half, you've come a long way.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
to and
So helpful.
I wanted to run through it fast because we could take a day over this.
Yeah.
But actually, it's the momentum, it's the focus, it's the no stories, it's the where are we going,
Yeah,
not what's happened in the past.
Yeah.
It's almost like
Yes,
it's
you
gut
use the past to
instinct though.
inform.
We kind of know it through gut instinct, don't we?
Absolutely.
And it's
Yeah.
getting that out
It's
of
getting
us.
out of us, yeah.
So, one page plan that forces clarity.
Yeah.
It removes the distraction. It moves what I call shiny penny syndrome, and it focuses your attention on what actually
Yeah.
creates value.
Yeah.
So you've just got to keep being like a broken record to
Yeah.
yourselves. Is
Yeah.
does this?
Yeah.
What is it? Come on, increase what?
Yeah. Profit.
Profit,
Metric.
Reduce
waste,
And dependency.
dependency, yeah.
dependency and
Risk.
remove risk.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Those three things.
Yeah.
Every time. So whenever you're sitting working on God
Yeah.
knows what for goodness knows who, ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now
Yeah.
increasing
That's good.
profit,
It's good.
reducing dependency, removing risk?
Yeah.
And if it's not, then you've got to start pushing back.
Mhm.
You know that old urgent and important
Mhm.
Yeah.
spare. You've got to start spending a little bit more time in
Mm.
important, not urgent.
Yeah.
Why else is it important? Everybody remembers it. It's a living, breathing document. It can go up on the wall. It's, everybody can understand it. Take away the words, take away the stories, take away the fluff, and get crystal clear on what it is. Simple enough to recall, it's simple enough for you to explain to other people.
Yeah.
It's easy to communicate, just what I've just said. And it's built to be continuously evolving
Yeah.
and reviewed.
Mhm.
It's not a 47-page slide and presentation that you stick in a cupboard and have bound and beautiful and it goes away. This is a living, breathing piece of work that you have in front of you and continue running with. Why do most fail? Well, it's all the converse of what I've just said. You're too complex. Can't remember it. How do you execute it?
You forget about it then.
Yeah, you forgot about it.
Yeah.
A shareholders agreement you want to sign and then put in a desk and never have to see again. It should never come up because you've had those challenging conversations at the start. This is something that should be there. It should be visible. Other plans have no ownership because it's like, this is what we're going to do. Which is why whenever I come to to your metrics and your rocks, there's got to be a clear owner.
Yeah.
Who's responsible for which, and it can't be both of you.
No.
It can never be both of you. You take one thing each,
Yeah.
or two things each. But if there's more than one owner, it doesn't get done.
Yeah.
Most plans are disconnected from reality. They sit away from the 90-day planning. So you've got a big strategic plan here, which is a 3 to 4 year thing, and then you've got your 90-day planning, and never the twain shall meet.
Yeah.
I think
So
it comes back
actually-
to it's like, how do you make a difference on a Monday morning?
Yes, absolutely. Or a Thursday morning
Yeah.
in this instance. So this has got to drive those different operational decisions. Looked at once, presented, applauded, and never referenced again. Failure's never about lack of ambition. Actually, it's about lack of follow through.
So true.
This is again execution rhythm, Rockefeller habits. It's about businesses that have a rhythm, it's almost like a metronome. The better your rhythm, the faster you act. So Vern Harnish would talk about having a daily huddle,
Yeah.
and that very quick, and it's just a right. Are there any problems? We need to escalate those, but all of the right people in the room at the right time. And it's just a quick, again, No stories, just who's doing what, who needs help. You're getting that daily rhythm going and the speed increasing. So weekly, staying on track. Are we on track? What's stuck? What needs support? If you can get to doing that daily, brilliant, but weekly is enough. The metrics you as owners, leaders should ideally be looking at weekly, and certainly getting to a point where you can see them weekly. Monthly is the real measurement of what matters. So properly reviewing these metrics and sharing them with the team and reviewing your progress. A lot of the metrics are about patterns. They're not about a one-time look at them. So it's looking at those patterns over time is where you're going to get the real results and the real understanding of what's working and what's not. As I say there, numbers remove opinion. So if you don't have the numbers, if you can't measure it, then it's just all about what I think.
Yeah.
And then you and I know that becomes a battle.
Yeah.
Quarterly, adjust the how. So those rocks evolve and change every quarter, every 90 days. But sit down every 90 days, and get your teams to do it. Get them to, once you've told them what their rocks are for the first quarter, and make sure you're measuring, make sure you're referencing it, make sure it's coming up. Get them to start thinking about the following quarter. What rocks should they be working on? What bricks should they be working on to drive those results? Actually, what I didn't say there was that, as it says on the board, priorities, they should flex. As you remove constraints, you'll notice something else. So it's absolutely fine to next quarter bring in a completely different rock that you hadn't even thought about. And annually, again, protecting that vision and making sure that vision is still, the right vision, and that the progress and the metrics are still the right metrics. And if things aren't moving, making sure that you're recognising that and challenging yourselves really hard on, are you measuring the right things? Is it moving in the right direction? So the direction stays constant, execution adjusts. When plans clear, everyone sees the strategy, hiring gets easier because people know where they fit. You get the discipline of how big businesses work without the stress of somebody breathing down your neck, because it's you that is in control of the numbers. And actually, if you do choose to sell in the future, whether you do or not, or if you do choose to remove yourselves from the business and not sell, you're going to want to know that these numbers, that you've got habits so that you can actually look at the business from the outside in and know what's working and see those patterns. So it's just really good discipline to get into now. And it's outcome focused over activity focused. We're all very good at being busy. It's very, very easy to be busy. Are we busy doing the right things that are going to shift the dial in the right way? I don't think I need to repeat myself here. Traditional strategic planning versus one page planning. One page planning.
I think that's a really important lesson though, because it's so.
I mean, you've been in big business.
And exactly, and you just get so bogged down in it, and it's like you just think what we've achieved today. Again, a small business is easier because you've got less people to consult with. But at the end of the day, your
business is business, just different number of zeros, different number of people, different number of products, whatever it might be. So living, breathing document that drives execution and outcomes. So I want you to start today. This isn't about selling your business. It's about building a business that can work without you. So that you have got the flexibility and the freedom to choose what you want to do. And actually, if you build it brilliantly to work without you, why would you sell it? Why would you sell it? Why wouldn't you have a legacy? For those of you who it might be appropriate for, why wouldn't you convert it into an EOT, employee ownership trust? Because it's working without you, because you've got the management team, you've got the right people in the bus in the right seats. So between now and the weekend, not between now and next month, but I want you to define your exit vision, get clarity on your value focus or value drivers, choose your 3 strategic priorities, set those value metrics, know what your baseline is. So it might take you with some of those value metrics, it might take you a little bit of a while to establish your baseline, but if you measure those metrics for the next 4 weeks. You know what your baseline is
Yeah.
in the 4-week period.
Yeah.
Identify the critical constraints in general and the one absolute focus priority, and lock in those Q1 rocks.
Yeah.
So 3 hours maximum, 2 hours probably. Sleep on it,
Yeah.
refine it, then share it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.